There are some ridiculous coincidences surrounding this Luigi Mangione story. In this video, we're going to take a look at just a few of them. If you find any of what we're about to look at in this presentation ridiculous, I've got the evidence and the documents to back up what I'm saying. There's a detailed 2-hour presentation available in both video and audio format, which is available publicly right now, which I'll link to in the pinned comment below. But don't even worry about that for now. Let's just take a look at some of the most obvious, ridiculous coincidences surrounding this event. Of course, you've heard the news that they are pushing for the death penalty for Luigi.
We have breaking news. Attorney General Pam Bondi is directing prosecutors to seek the death penalty for the man accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO.
And today is April 2, which is 4-2, which is the number that is so important to those people who call themselves synchromystics. Well, you don't have to be a coincidenceologist to see that there's something very strange about all of this. You see, Luigi Mangione supposedly left a 4-star positive review of the manifesto of Ted Kaczynski on the internet.
He did post a review online on Goodreads about a book about the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, and in that review he said that the Unabomber was a violent individual, but he praised him. He said it was not terrorism, but rather the acts of an extreme political revolutionary.
Ted Kaczynski's Unabomber manifesto was published by the Washington Post and the New York Times on 19 September 1995. It just so happens that on the very same day the season 3 premiere of Frasier went to air. It was called She's the Boss. Now, in this episode, Matthew Broderick calls in. He's the guest star of the episode, and he calls in to Frasier's show.
Hello, line 2. You're on with Dr. Frasier Crane.
Hey, Dr. Crane. It's Mark.
Hello, Mark. I'm listening.
Okay, well, I work at this all-night mini-mart, and I've been watching myself on the video camera, and the camera me is doing things I don't approve of.
Matthew Broderick, of course, being the actor who played Simba in the 1994 film The Lion King. One of the most prominent images that was published of Luigi in the days following the announcement that it was him who did the shooting of Brian Thompson featured him with a Happy Meal with imagery from The Lion King. The fake ID that Luigi was carrying when he was caught said that his name was Mark Rosario. Keep that in mind when you hear this clip from Season 3, Episode 1, She's the Boss of Frasier, which aired on the same day that the New York Times and the Washington Post published the Unabomber manifesto.
Hello, line 2. You're on with Dr. Frasier Crane.
Hey, Dr. Crane. It's Mark.
Hello, Mark. I'm listening.
So Mark calls into the show and says that he can see on the CCTV footage himself doing something that he doesn't approve of.
And the camera me is doing things I don't approve of.
We were shown CCTV footage of this guy Luigi Mangione shooting Brian Thompson in the back.
We have some breaking news. CNN has obtained new surveillance video from the fatal shooting of the United Healthcare CEO.
Now, as it turns out, in this same episode of Frasier, there is a plot surrounding Niles wanting to get a gun. It doesn't just come up once, it comes up multiple times in the episode that Niles wants a gun. First he tries to borrow it from the father, and when the father refuses to lend him a gun, he goes and gets a starter's pistol. Now, as chance would have it, this episode opens with a so-called vicious attack upon the family dog, but it's later revealed that actually it was just a scratch. Can you think of any other vicious attacks last year where in the end it turned out to be just a scratch? Well, the reason why Niles wants to get himself a gun is because his wife has been afraid of the neighbors or of somebody. She wants protection, or Niles thinks she wants protection, because the community watch are all holidaying in Palm Beach. Can you think of anybody else who resides in Palm Beach? The episode is called She's the Boss. It's the introduction of the Kate Costas character. On her desk, we see a prominent book called Dali by a guy called Marco de Capua. It's a book about the paintings of Dali. When I say the name Dali, can you think of any major events that occurred, say, March of last year? Of course, that was the name of the boat that supposedly went into the Key Bridge and led to that bridge collapsing in Baltimore, America. These are just a few of the so-called coincidences that can be found between Luigi, Uncle Ted, Simba the Lion King, Matthew Broderick calling into this episode that aired on the same day that Uncle Ted's manifesto was released. There's a lot more where that came from, so go and check out the 2-hour presentation available right now, link in the pinned comment below. Uncle Ted writes a manifesto. Luigi leaves a 4-star review. Luigi then goes and takes a gun to shoot a healthcare CEO. He's apparently a fan of The Lion King. Well, The Lion King was played by Matthew Broderick in 1994. Matthew Broderick called into the episode as a guest star on the same day that Uncle Ted's manifesto was released. Matthew Broderick says he can see himself on the CCTV footage doing something he doesn't approve of. In that episode, his name is Mark, which is the same name used by Luigi on his fake ID. There's a vicious attack that actually leaves just a scratch. Niles wants a gun for protection because the Community Watch have gone to Palm Beach. You might think this is all just a coincidence. I invite you to put that theory to the test by going and checking out the 2-hour presentation available in the pinned comment below. And leave your thoughts. What do you think about all of this? Do you really believe this is all just coincidences?
And the camera me is doing things I don't approve of.